Okay, so I wanted to have a discussion video with you guys talking about the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla 2019 and the NECA Godzilla 2019 and why a lot of people don't seem to see a big difference between the NECA 2014 and the NECA Godzilla 2019. And I'm here to tell you why that is, because a lot of people are saying that the S.H.MonsterArts has the bigger details, the bigger changes, and that a lot of people can actually see changes in articulation and design. And I'm here to tell you guys why that is and why you see most of the changes with the SH Monster Arts or the NECA Godzilla 2019. Okay, so here I will be comparing both of them. I will be comparing my SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2014 with the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019. And just to give you some background information on all of the figures and all that, the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla 2014, back in the day when it came out, it was stylized. It was not movie accurate at all. When you compare the NECA 2014 versus the S.H.MonsterArts 2014, the NECA Godzilla 2014 was more movie accurate with design, details, and all that versus the SH Monster Arts. They took a different route. Supposedly, they did not have access to the 3D prints or the 3D designs of Godzilla. And that's why the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2014 looked very, very different when you compare it with other figures. And yeah, it was stylized, so everything wasn't movie accurate. They took their own like freedom to stylize the figure however they wanted to, and none of them from the past, all three releases, the original, the Spitfire, and the poster version, none of them had any changes, only like color differences and all that. No changes in design to fix their mistakes. So, okay, that's the background of the 2014. Now, I'm here to explain to you guys why there's a much bigger difference when you compare the SH Monster Arts and the NECA Godzilla 2019. Now, to give you information on the NECA Godzilla 2014, back when it came out, a lot of people were impressed by the amount of details and the movie accurate that it was, because it was. All the details, the pose, everything, the sculpture captured the figure or the Godzilla from the movie very well. The design was there. Everything looks very smooth, you know. When you saw the NECA 2014, you could say that it captured the Godzilla from the 2014 movie because it looked exactly like it. Because of course they had access to the 3D designs, whereas the company of Tamashi Nations that did the SH Monster Arts did not have access to it. So the details, the color, and other things were very different when you compare both of them to each other. Not to forget that the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2014 was sculpted by someone else, and I believe the 2019 is actually sculpted by Yuji Sakai this time around. So both of them, I believe, have different sculptors or different people sculpting the figures. So of course, there's going to be massive differences when you compare the 2014 and 2019 of the SH Monster Arts version. And I told you guys that the biggest difference would come from that company because the 2014 and 2019 are very different, especially from that company, since the 2014 is very stylized, whereas this time around SH Monster Arts is taking the 100% movie accuracy, and that's why there's a major difference, because this time they have access to the 3D prints and they can put in so many details thanks to Yuji Sakai, which he's famously known for doing X Plus, Bam Presto, SH Monster Arts figures with a lot of details. Like, he takes his time, he gets the details, the figure and the design just very well done, you know. He's very good at sculpting figures. And first of all, the NECA Godzilla 2014 was already an amazing figure. It looked exactly like the 2014 design, you know, from the movie. It looked really well. So there was nothing to fix on that figure. Everything was already smooth, and that's why you don't see a big difference, because the only difference that you're getting with the NECA Godzilla 2019 is what Mike Doherty said himself. There's going to be a redesign on his spikes, his tail, his feet, his claws, and a little bit of around his face and all that, but not a lot of changes and all that. There's just a few, and that's exactly what NECA did. So there's not much um going on with NECA, because they already had the more accurate figure back in 2014, and 2019 is the same thing. So when you compare the 2014 movie design with the 2019, there's not much of a difference from what I said. Only his spikes, his tail, his claws, and a little bit on his face. So there's not much of a difference. You're gonna still be able to recognize our 2014 and 2019 and say that they are the same designs. Whereas the SH Monster Arts, remember, they are sculpted by different people. The 2014 was stylized, the 2019 is not stylized, and that's why you see a major difference, because you know they have a redesign on his whole body. The articulation is different. The nails and claws, everything is going to be different from the 2014, and that is why a lot of people see the bigger change with the SH Monster Arts versus the NECA. The NECA, they had it already perfectly done. The spikes and everything is already done, and I know a lot of people might be saying that they did not 100% re-sculpt or redesign this figure, but I'm telling you, it is 100% new sculpture, and they said it themselves, and I believe in them, because if you look very closely, you can see more details on his spikes. Obviously his spikes are bigger, there's more details, the color is different even on his tail. The NECA 2014 did not have any scales on his tail, and I noticed that the 2014 doesn't have any details on his tail, right? And the 2019 has a lot more details. Now, compare their feet. The NECA 2014 had the movie accurate feet, whereas the 2014 did not. And that's why you see a big difference this time around, because both of them are going 100% movie accurate, where back in the day the SH Monster Arts didn't, and that's why you see a big difference, because they're a completely new figure, if you would call it. If you compare your 2014 versus the SH Monster Arts 2019, it's a big difference in every single way, in details, design, everything. And I believe NECA. I don't think that they're bullshitting us with using all the parts and all that, because if you look very closely, you can tell that the articulation is a little bit different. There's more details, the paint job and everything is different. So just look closely. And for the SH Monster Arts, obviously the head looks different, the gills, his chest, the articulation looks different, because it's not the same design, it's not the same guy sculpting this figure this time around. And even just look at this part from his back scales. The 2014 from SH Monster Arts wasn't even accurate. Um, Around his body, they went with a more jagged type of spikes, whereas the NECA had the more movie accurate, and they actually had scales and all that. So this time around, the SH Monster Arts is going to look very similar to the NECA version, because they're both going for that movie accuracy. They have the 3D prints, plus they have good sculptors, and I believe the guy sculpting for NECA is the same one ever since 2014 back in the day. So it's the same sculptor. And for the SH Monster Arts, I believe King Ghidorah is being sculpted by someone else. So yeah, not all the figures are going to obviously look the same, because they're getting sculpted by different people, and they're using different paint jobs, and that's okay, because I want to see a difference in every single figure from each company. I don't want to see the same figure from NECA and SH Monster Arts X Plus, Bam Presto, and all of that. Um, I'm very glad that this time we're getting different figures, and I'm not against any company and all that. I think they're doing a fantastic job, And I know a lot of people are complaining about the NECA spikes or his dorsal fins that supposedly they're super big, but if you look closely, I think they're about right, because if you look at the brand new posters and all that, they're very, very big, and that third spike actually looks very big. So I don't know, guys. I really don't dislike any designs. I think both of them look very, very fantastic. Something that I don't like about the NECA is his nails on his feet. I think they could be a little bit longer and spikier, whereas the SH Monster Arts, they look fantastic, you know. I don't know, but I think I like the SH Monster Arts a little bit more because I see the bigger change in that figure, but that's to be expected since the 2014 was stylized. But the NECA looks fantastic, I gotta say. They're not falling behind. Not to say that they're doing a Spitfire version or other figures. So thank you guys for watching.